This video will bring together four topics that I did not cover elsewhere, and it's sort of a whoops on my part. I just overlooked them and thought of them after the fact, but and rather than splicing them into the existing videos, because that's a painful process, I just decided to bring them all together because they do all relate to US Bank. So let's start with paying off the Visa balance. You saw in an earlier video how I track how we're doing with the Visa balance, but how do you pay it off? Well, starting from the beginning here, the bank's going to send us an email notifying us of the cutoff date for the billing cycle, and it's ordinarily around the 9th, 10th, 11th, maybe as late as the 12th. And the bank will send out similar notes for checking, and if we have a home equity balance for that as well. But I never look at the one for checking because that's just kind of an ongoing revolving fund almost. But if we did have a home equity balance, I'll look for that, and I'll make a comment about how to pay off the home equity later on. So, for example, if I go to my emails, they had already sent me a note from, you can see that the credit card statement I was ready. So I can log in as we've done in the other videos. It will go in as our account, yours and mine, not your mother's and yours. Anyway, so from my accounts, choose the credit account, then credit card 9418, and you'll see then there is a statement balance, and that's the amount that we're going to be sure to or to set up for payment. And you notice I did right mouse copy, and the date is May 7, 2021. We can go down here to make a payment. And by the way, this interface has changed recently as well, to the point that I even had to run a test transaction of just $1. It's changed since last month even. So make a payment, and we can select, in this case, the same statement balance is fine. And I found when I tried due May 7, it actually said I'm going to be late. So let's, which is a kind of a screw edit. So let's make it for the 6th. And it's going to say here, checking, pay from checking, and that's what we want. That's the only thing that's out there. And we can then turn around and click on the pay that amount. This is just tracking exactly what you see over here. And it says you're good to go. Then what you'll want to do is to update that bank reconciliation workbook, which is over here, with both the new date and the amount. Okay, so you're now seeing the full the spreadsheet open here. So we'll scroll down to it. My placeholder, I plug in a date as my best guess because we backed it up a date or a day. It's changed that way from, instead of being an estimate, it's now a certainty. And we came in again quite a bit below the plug amount, so I did just a paste in there. And you'll notice that it debits and then just recalculates, because we're not entering a new row. We don't have to recalculate everything. It does it just automatically. So this next task here is, how do we reap our rewards from US Bank? And from the main, get back to the main dashboard, down here to credit cards, just following the navigation over here. Click on redeem. And by the way, another cautionary remark, I've said this before, this user interface also just changed literally in the last month. So it's going to happen, so you just need to be flexible, cheerful and flexible, as Kathy Romy would say. Anyway, so we're able to select then from this page cashback and cash awards to redeem. It actually was $1 more than this, but I already did it. I had to do a test transaction because the user interface literally changed. So we'll go ahead and pick up the balance here, $44.29, and do a continue. This is all, it's just following what's exactly here. There's an error in my outline there. But anyway, I always just have it deposited to my U.S. Bank checking because I like to see the cash come in there. Otherwise, then it appears as a credit, which makes for my, if you remember my little formula for tracking the Visa, it makes it a little bit, muddies it up just a little bit. But if you want to do it that way, it's fine. The other way, it's fine. Anyway, choose my account. It's going to be checking. And here I need to pull up the routing and transit or account number as previously. Now, this is all new. I didn't used to have to do this before. So I will bring in, I have off screen these codes. So there's the routing number and then the account number, which I can just paste in twice. And acknowledge this boilerplate stuff. I picked up that quota, probably not a good thing, and it has my email in cash. So let's go ahead and redeem the cash rewards. They're almost finished. Make sure everything looks good. And I think part of the reason they do this is they may have, I think it's a third party that actually processes these rewards. So they may have had to change their interface for some reason like that. So it's saying, aha, there you go, very good, thank you. And I'm at this point, a couple more steps here. Return to the main dashboard to see if the amount has been posted to checking. So we can go back to that main dashboard and then pull up the checking account and make sure that amount is out there. And you can see technically there's actually two amounts out here. Here's the first one where I tested it for $1 and then the amount we just added. You can ignore that Zelle for the moment. We'll come back to that shortly. So it was really like $45.29 is what I added. And what I can do then is go back to the last step, or next to last step here, update the bank reconciliation workbook. And these amounts are posted as of the current day if it's a business day, but you'll notice I'm speaking on a Saturday, so it's actually showing that it's going to be posted as of April the 12th. So I'll bring up the bank reconciliation. So here's the bank reconciliation worksheet. So I want to add a record for April 12th. It showed. So I can just insert a row here. Another way I could do it would be just go back to the previous month. That's actually probably a smarter way to do it. And just look for where it says U.S. Bank Rewards Redemption. So I can just, since I already inserted a row, I'm just going to copy the cells down, paste those in, and change the date. And the amount was positive amount $45.29. Now, because I added a row, I have to, in addition to that, copy the new balance all the way through here to the bottom row of the worksheet, which right now is set at the end of January 2022. There's one last point about this whole rewards drill. U.S. Bank will notify by email when categories need to be reset, and I should add that that is quarterly. And I can't show it to you because the one from last quarter I long ago deleted, and it's like they don't turn it on for you to make the changes until the new cycle for the quarter comes up. But you'll get a choice of you can choose like entertainment or restaurants, groceries, electronics, and they vary from month to month, and they give you 1 or 2% on certain categories and then some other percent across the board. And I don't spend a lot of time worrying about it because a number of the things that they give you rewards for, we don't really spend any money on, like, clothes, for example. So what I might do is just create a little mini video next time that comes in so you can see how you work that. Frankly, if you didn't do anything to it, it wouldn't be the great loss because, again, it's a relatively small amount of money. But Again, I can't illustrate it unless I have that email at hand, where you can then click on and go through the whole drill and see where and how you make the change to those reward categories. I probably haven't been as diligent in saying this, but kind of goes without saying, every time you make an update, for instance, to this workbook, what you'll want to do is save it. You can save it here on the little save icon, which looks like the old floppy. In Excel and also the other Office products, what I've done here is I actually collapse the ribbon, which means I don't have all this stuff on top. That was just for demo purposes, but normally I would keep that on. So anyway, so we've added both for for Visa. Again, to recap, we have that new U.S. bank amount that's going to debit our records, and then the rewards, which was an adder, and I changed it to, as you can see, change it to an A because it's an actual amount. And it looks like a couple of these I have to go back and reconcile for, haven't picked those up yet. So let's go back to the dashboard, and there's just hardly anything I need to say about bill payments. So from the main dashboard, bill payments, the note over here, we can go pay bills in US bank accounts. Unlike in the past, I rarely pay a bill electronically because it's become so ubiquitous to either use Visa as a recurring charge, like for Aaron's Green Cleaning, for Sprint, for all the ones that I listed in the video related to credit cards, where I was talking about the recurring amounts. Or it's like Excel, where it's been set up as checking account withdrawal. Another example is Health Partners. Another example is American Family Insurance. So you can see what I have out here. Maybe the last one I set up for whatever reason was Perspectives Vision. That was for some residual amount that we owed them. I'll mention home equity. We haven't had to pay or carry any home equity for a year and a half now or more. But the last I think was we dipped into home equity was partially to pay for the bassoon. And what I remember, the oddity here is you'd think, well, yeah, I can transfer money from, if it will come up here, yes. So you can select from checking to equity line. Now, there's no money to transfer because we don't have any balance. You put the amount here, and then you could do the next. But the problem is, unlike if it's still this way, but like I say, it's been a year and a half. If it's still this way, it's like it has to transfer it real time. You can't set it to, like, the next payment by date might be out in May, but this internal transfer doesn't work that way. It will occur right now, unlike the Visa, which you can set out in the future. So that's a reason why I had set up for bill payments. If we go back here, if you look at the bottom, there was US Bank Home Equity. That's the only reason it exists. And I set up, if you wanted to edit it, but I set it up for, it has our account number, etc. And I indicated that it was just the Ridgedale, Minnetonka, because that's the place we set it up initially, and it goes to some places, St. Louis, as you can see. All right, back to the dashboard. The last item is Ted's Zelle, and this is pretty straightforward. I have the weekly amount, or excuse me, bi-weekly amount is $200. It's on the Google Calendar for every other Friday. So if we looked at a monthly calendar, you'd see where those dates are out there for him. So going back to US Bank, from the main dashboard here, you might think it's transfer, but actually in their way of thinking, it's called send money. So we'll click on send money with Zelle. Send money again. And you can see there's several people out here, several entities. Theodore is set up, and that just means he was enrolled based on his phone number. So we'll click on that, and then we just enter the amount. This is all what you see over here. Click on review. So you can take a look here, leave the frequency as one time and the send date. It's defaulting to today's date because we have to be sitting on a Saturday. Now it's going to be effective actually on the Monday, but it will show up out on the checking account, which we'll look at in just a moment. You can put in a message if you want, but I never do. Send the $1. And it confirms that. There's a confirmation number, which again, you never really need to care about. We are now done. With US Bank, the transaction processes immediately and a mail confirmation follows, whereas outside of US Bank, there is a lag. And that's like, for instance, when I've done a couple of transactions with Sammy, and she has this real true virtual bank. It took 2 or 3 days for her transactions. So if I come over here, they actually do 2 different transactions, one indicating the payment is on its way, and then for whatever reason the other one is noting that it's been deposited. So I shut down the emails there. I can go out, as I suggested, look and see if it has shown up on the checking account, which it will show. Again, it'll be a couple of days out because today is Saturday the 10th, so it's going to show effectively completed Monday the 12th. And then finally go out to the bank reconciliation worksheet, and we can put in a transaction prospectively. You could call it a C, or you could call it A. For this kind of thing, we know it's effectively happened, and I can just copy this from a previous, I was doing some other testing because of the user interface change. So I just plug in a buck there, and I can again carry that all forward. And that is it. Enough said. That's it for now. We'll call a wrap.